At the forefront of a national conversation right now is motherhood and parenting, and often overlooked domestic caretakers who do what one author calls, quote, arguably the most essential work humans can do. In Angela Garbez's sophomore book on mothering, Essential Labor, Mothering as a Social Change, she explores society's treatment of parenting, the skill and attention that it takes to care for another life, and what a more equitable community could look like. Angela Garbez joins us now. Angela, thank you so much for being here. You said that you never intended to write this book, but it came to you during the pandemic as you, like many others, worked to balance motherhood in the chaos of that time. Walk us through that journey. Yeah. What brought you to writing this book now?
I was hearing all this talk about our essential workers, healthcare workers, sanitation workers, who, yes, are absolutely essential. But I also started thinking, well, what about mothers? What about parents? Because we are all working around the clock right now, nonstop. And with no extra support or any real recognition of that. And that was really the seed for this book.
In your book, you look to history when asking why mothering is considered low-wage labor rather than highly skilled work that is essential, creative, and influential. How does our history impact society's view on mothering today?
Yeah, so I mean, around the world, globally, for centuries, we raised children communally. You know, it was not the home was not the sole province of a mother, and a father was not expected to be financially supportive of a family. It was really capitalism, which created privatized labor, where someone goes out of the home to do quote unquote professional work and earn an individual wage. And because females are able to give birth, it just sort of made it easier to keep them, let's just keep you in the home and raise the next generation of workers. And so what we haven't really reckoned with in America is that our economic system depends on domestic labor as much as it does professional labor.
And you also write that through your work on this book, your definition of mothering began to shift. How so?
I wanted to create a term. Mothering is also a verb as opposed to a noun. It's dynamic, and it includes the many, infinite physical acts of care that we are performing for children. And it's a way of inviting people in and recognizing that you don't need to have children, and you certainly don't have to want to have children to look out for them. When we invest in children, when we invest in families, we're really investing in public health and the future of our society.
I have to agree with you. Mothering is not just a verb, it's an action verb, right?
It's a repeated action.
Very involved endlessly. So yes. There has been a child care crisis unfolding in this country, as you know, with parents struggling to find affordable child care as employees leave the industry in search of higher wages. What do you see as some viable solutions for that?
I really think that, I don't want to let the government off the hook here. Individuals and families and communities have been making patchwork solutions. And the truth is that we need health and we need support. We need help. And so what I would love to see is affordable childcare. In Montreal, you can send a child to daycare for $9 a day. And that will make a lot of parents in the U.S.'s jaw drop. We're doing the best we can. Families and communities are doing the best we can, and we need help. So I think, supporting politicians and supporting organizations that are working for affordable childcare is the next step.
Did you say $9 a day? That is just
$9
an
a day, Lindsay.
Astonishing number.
I know.
Oh my goodness gracious!
So this is possible. I pay $1,300 a month for my child to go to preschool.
Right.
And when you think of it that way, and that's a stretch for me. It is not like other countries understand this. It is not that radical. It really is not. It is just what we have normalized in our society.
You also write that the pandemic revealed that mothering is some of the only truly essential work that humans do. Do you feel that the pandemic has fundamentally changed the value that society places on mothering, or do you think that this shift might have only been temporary?
Well, I don't know that if it's dramatically changed. I think it's exposed things. We all know that when we didn't have people to care for our children, our society shut down. People could not perform their jobs, right? So we see this. I'm hopeful because I have to be hopeful, because otherwise, what's the point? I also think about people who have been through, like my ancestors and throughout history, marginalized people have been figuring out ways to make community and make things work. So they haven't given up, so I'm not going to give up. But I definitely think that I don't want this conversation to go away. Like, we felt the righteous anger of so many mothers, affluent mothers to poor mothers, right? We felt that because we all knew it. And now, as we're all supposed to be returning to the office and like going back to normal life, I'm worried that we'll let go of that.
And I think also another thing, mommy guilt is a real thing that we have to discuss as well at some other time. But lastly, I just want to ask you, just news-wise, of course, a major national headline in the past week has been the possibility that the Supreme Court will overturn Roe v. Wade. How do you feel that this could impact motherhood and parenting in this country?
So we know for a fact that 66% of people who have abortions in America are mothers or are already parents. And so we are experts in what the physical cost, the emotional cost, and the financial cost of having children is. So, I mean, to me, abortion is an economic justice issue. We know that wealthy people will always be able to access abortion. The people who cannot access abortion are the people who currently cannot access it, poor women of color. And so, we created poverty. Poverty is a man-made situation that we have allowed to flourish in our country. And when you condemn women to motherhood, when you force them into motherhood, you force them into poverty. And our government is telling us that they're okay with leaving people living harder lives than they need to. And so it is really, we should listen to mothers on this.
Angela Garbez, such a pleasure to talk to you. Essential Labor, Mothering as a Social Change comes out tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.